Show, Peter G Show, Peter G Show, Peter G Show. Divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad. Peter G Show.
Hey guys, guess what time it is? It's Sunday, Sunday, Sunday! Life with Peter G. In an undisclosed location in Burbank, California. Coming at ya! I don't want nothing coming at me. How the hell are you doing? End of a long Thanksgiving weekend, right? Long Thanksgiving weekend, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know about you. I hope it was a good weekend. We talked about a lot of things. Say hey to Peter. Hey, Peter. Watch party. Let's start that off right quick, okay? Y'all. Check out your page. It says Peter G is now live. Except on his own official friggin' Peter G Show page, which I'm already riled up about that as it is. We were just discussing that. Pisses me off. Nothing I can do. Just bearing through it. One day it'll all be over and I'll put it behind me. It's just kind of sad. This is what happens when you're on a low budget. I mean, it's a bigger budget, but it's a bigger budget. Just the way we chose to do things, and unfortunately I wasn't anticipating some of this stuff. But it's all good. For those of you just tuning in, say hey. You can type, you can say hey Peter, all that good stuff. Tonight I got a special guest from the East Coast. It's going to be good. Talking about current things that are very important to me. But first, I want to start a watch page of my own. Oh, look at that. On my personal page. Oh, look, it says I'm watching me. Hey, I like that. I'm my biggest fan. So then what I want to do, I want to hit the page and I want to share it. You hit the share button. Pay attention, write this down. It's complicated. Not. Then I want to start a watch party. It says start a watch party. And then another page comes up and it says start watch party. It's a big blue button right there. It says start watch party. And there, I just started one. Oh, yeah. Who's giving me a thumbs up? I like it. This is awesome. Anyway, how was your Thanksgiving? Did you survive it? I told you, there's lots of crazy stuff that goes on. The holiday season's full of crazy stuff, good and bad. A lot of sadness, missing your family, things like that. I talked about it very much last Sunday. Tonight I'm going to talk about it with someone special who's in the business of dealing with the ups and downs of these type of problems. And they stayed up extra late just for little old us. Just for me and a few 3 million of my closest friends. But she's going to be on in a little bit. And we're going to talk to Deanna Coyle from Vista Redefining Divorce. They got a company that, you know, as if life isn't screwy enough, and now we have businesses that and companies and people that just help you try to keep your shit together, especially when you got kids. But in general, we talk about, you don't have to be going through divorce. We talk about things that, you know, just you're missing your family. You know, yesterday, the past 2 days, for example, I was doing Christmas cards. I have, the herd is narrowed down quite a bit. I used to do about 4 or 5 Christmas in the music business. And now, you know, things change and it's, you know, I've kept it down to people that I still see and you know, I love a lot of people, but I had to narrow it down. It was very, very time consuming. I used to have somebody do it for me, but it was kind of special to me. The holidays are special to me. But as I was doing these Christmas cards, I mean, I just couldn't help that know that this year is a huge change for me. Father's finally gone. I did. Ah, yes. I was just bitching while we were frozen in time that Facebook's platform been having nothing but issues this past month. But, you know, the problems we have, I'm just thankful to be. But for that one lousy hour, the one lousy hour I sit here, I want to be able to spread the word. And I want you guys to spread the word by hitting the share button and starting a watch party. It's important to me. Say hey to me. Hey. Like it's different pages that we go on to simultaneously, and lots of people say things. It's hard to keep up. But I was doing Christmas cards these past couple of days, and it really, really bothered me. Maybe I'm just getting way more in touch, as I get older. But to realize that the things I once had, I don't have anymore, as my parents and things like that. And as old as I am, hey, April. Things I once had, I don't have anymore, and it's all up here. It's not like I did anything special when I was 2,000 miles away from my folks. I was 2,000 miles away from my folks, but you just knew that they were there regardless. And it's hard, man. A lot of people, it hits you very hard. I'm telling you, it was bothering me today for some reason. I was getting way too much time to think. And these are the things that we're going to talk about because it's the holidays. It kind of amplifies everything times 10, times 20. And that's a problem. To get through it, think you got to get your head in the right spot. It's just life, and that's it. We'll be talking about that in a little bit. What time is it? Bad weather out here in California. The whole Thanksgiving, some people didn't make it to Thanksgiving. I mean, we had snow up in the mountains, and they closed just 20 miles from me. I mean, the roads were closed. The elevation climbs pretty steeply, and snow. We don't deal with snow a whole lot, at least in Southern California. It was a bitch. Why are you freezing? Why? Freezing. This is going to be one of those nights, folks. Let's see what happens. One time, gotta fly. Sydney. You go to Australia a lot, but you've watched me from Australia. I appreciate it. Love you. Happy holidays. Sorry, people chiming in. I'll get to you all later if I don't see you now. But anyway, before we get started, because I want to get the ball rolling, tonight is brought to you by, and always brought to you by so far, Bolt Energy. Why Bolt Energy? Let me tell you. No preservatives, people. Nobody's got that in an energy drink, all right? It's a cleaner energy drink. It's enriched with antioxidants and vitamins. And most of all, for me, little old me, it tastes good, all right? These guys are workout fanatics. Sugar-free is coming down the pipe, but even this can has only got 80 calories. And it just gives you that little kick in the ass to get you going, but you don't feel it. You know what I mean? It doesn't get you all freaky and crazy and jittery. It just helps push you through, and that's what I need. And I'm popping a can open right now because that's just what I need. Bolt Energy, go out and ask for it. If you can't find Bolt Energy, go to www.drinkboltenergy. They are slowly engulfing the United States and other parts in the world. And if you go to www.drinkboltenergy and ask them, hey, how can I get Bolt Energy? They will talk to you, and they will get back to you and figure it out and show you where it's at and all that stuff. So let me take a sip real quick before we get started. Oh, boy. I wait all day for this because it's just that plata. Bolt Energy, folks. Love it. There's a million energy drinks and life's full of choices. I don't drink coffee. But a lot of that stuff they say, hey, it's not a good habit. This is a cleaner energy drink. I mean, honestly, these guys, again, that was their whole purpose, was to bring something better to the table. And lo and behold, Bolt Energy. Enough said for now. Real quick, my rant of the week. I saw this on the news, pissing me off. I mean, some people just remain stupid. A lady in Oklahoma was driving an SUV through an intersection when she turned a corner and a 2-year-old child fell out of the SUV. In traffic. It's wintertime. And the child fell out of the car in traffic in an SUV. How the hell does that happen? Well, I'll tell you how. Fortunately, there was a patrolman, a cop, at that intersection, saw the baby fall out, jumps out of his car, and runs and grabs that baby before somebody hit him. Just blows my mind. It's a lot of stuff that blows my mind, but that is just unbelievable. Come to find out, the lady did not have the 2-year-old strapped into the car, and she had 2 other children in the car, no car seats, and they weren't strapped into the car either. This is the crap that, I don't want to say that she deserves to have her kids taken away, because who suffers? The kids. Sorry, my nose is running a little bit. It's been quite a hot, cold going on here. Who suffers? The kids. From stupidity. You don't deserve to have children. Shit just pisses me off big time. It's not fair. And that's probably just the tip of the iceberg. If you're not smart enough to strap your kids into the car, when I was growing up in the 60s, when I was a child, they didn't know any better. Well, they know better now. It's just crazy. It's like you really need your ass kicked. Mark, still taking care of old business. Anyway, all right. Where am I? They keep going. Come on. Oh, my friend Pepsi. Pepsi stopped by right the day after Thanksgiving. He left, and then he went up to Northern California, came back down before he went to Texas. That boy shows up, crack of dawn, starts popping open beers. Drives me crazy. He just wears me out a little bit, but I love him. And one day, all I can say is I'm going to have a long talk with that boy. For now, we just live and let live. All right, that's my rant of the week, and we're going to get to the meat of the subject today. Today on my show, I'm getting ready to put Deanna on the phone, and we'll see what she's got to say and what she's going to bring to the table, which basically is what I'd be doing all month long, being it's the holidays. But she's going to help me out because we happen to cross each other's path by accident. There's a lot of that goes on, and come to find out, she's got a vested interest. I mean, it's the same. Everybody. There's just so much of this shit going on, and we're going to talk about it. And the holidays and all, even more of a reason to talk about it. So I'm going to dial her up in 1 second. Let's do this. What do you say? I say we do this. Come on. How's it work? You didn't change nothing on me, right, boys? Hang on. Phone issues. I want to dial. It's really simple. Ah, look at that. I haven't made a phone call in a few weeks. Can't even,
Hello?
Deanna?
Hi.
Hi, it's Peter G. You're live on the show. How are you?
I'm good, Peter. How are you doing?
I'm great. I want to thank you for staying up. I know it's late.
It is late. It's late and it's snowing.
It's late and it's snowy. Well, it's early and it's semi-snowy here, but
semi-snowy. Wow.
I told you. Yeah. Well, you know, we're not in the East Coast where it's just it's a way of life. I mean, over here you have to drive to the mountains to get there, but it's snowy not very far from me. But it's just the weather's still cold and it has that snowy feeling for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mentioned to you shortly when we talked briefly the other day on how I have a hard time with some of my East Coast folks on keeping them up to, you know, even though they have important things to talk about. But you were gung ho and you've kept up with me the whole time.
I am.
I appreciate you.
Oh, well, I appreciate you having me on your show. So thank you so much, Peter.
It's all good. Now, let's talk real quick. We're going to just touch base on what you do and why you're doing it, and then we're going to get to the overall broad subject. But tell everybody what exactly you're doing.
Yeah, so I've been putting together divorce programs, educational and social events and retreats for the past 6.5 years with my partners. And it really stemmed from a divorce that I went through that was really long and challenging,
Shocking.
emotionally and financially draining.
Yeah.
And with the hardest thing I've ever gone through, what it did was it put me on the path to do something that, to really do something that can make a difference in the world for so many, because divorce is really important to me. And having gone through it myself, I'm also a child of divorce, and also both of my sets of grandparents were divorced.
Jesus.
So I saw this as something that was, just went from generation to generation, and it's so devastating. It affects everyone around, not just the families and the neighbors, but teachers, the pediatricians, co-workers, anyone that's around in that. It's
the world we live in now. It's just common. Everything is like, it doesn't work, let's just get divorced. When I was growing up as a kid, it was shameful.
It was what?
It was shame. I mean, it was almost like if there wasn't very many people when I was a little kid that were getting divorced, or if they did, it was kept real quiet because you were almost embarrassed to get divorced. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now, it's
even
every day.
now, it's still.
You think?
There's still some. I mean, it's very difficult, and people, when they go through it, they feel that they're alone, that they're the only ones going through it, and we know they're not, because about 50% of marriages
keep going, 67
end up in divorce.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you came up with a company. Now, well, here's where I'm a little confused, because I tried to do a little bit of looking into what you were doing. If you were to categorize your company on, are you a counseling type company, or is it just lawyers taking on an extra title? Please explain for me and my 3 million friends.
3 or 3 million.
Yeah, I can't count. I don't know.
So we're really like a marketing company. So we've gathered professionals. So it's not just attorneys. It's financial people, but anything that someone could use support in, and before, during, or after divorce. So it's also, parent coaches and life coaches, relationship coaches, even personal stylists, health and wellness. There's so many things that impact people. And so they're not employees, but they go through an application process, and then they become part of our network of professionals.
Okay. I mean, so how do you gather the troops, and how do they come about helping? I mean, because let's say, like you, I was going through a divorce. Now, I just dealt with it, and number one, do you have the money to divorce? Now, there are people, because I know you mentioned that you help people, and I had somebody a year ago wanted to come on, and they help people figure out their financials, their financial status, and, where the money goes for their kids for college. There's a lot of people that can't even afford the divorce in the first place, let alone worrying about everything else. It'll break you.
Absolutely. It can be really expensive, and it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have people of all different, economic, statuses come seek support. Most of our events are free to attend, because we want to make them as accessible for people as possible. And they can come and get information and, meet professionals who can help them in different areas. And if they do choose to hire any of the professionals, then that's arrangement that they have. That's not
right.
We don't get any referral fees or anything. We're totally unbiased. But people are able to get the support they need and get the information. And if they do meet people, meet professionals that they want to hire, then that's something that can help them along the way.
Okay, so your job is basically putting a big billboard out there, going, hey, and saying, if you get divorced and if you need help, here's some ways that you can find some help. Is that correct?
Right. Ways that they can find help, and really in a comprehensive way. So they don't have to go searching for, a realtor over here, and an attorney over there, and a therapist somewhere else. But really to have a group, if they choose to go through it that way, to help them in a cohesive manner, so that they're not getting different pieces of information from different people. And so that they're also not getting conflicting information, and not having to go to a lot of different places. They can come to one place and get what they need, and have a supportive community with them, and from people who have been vetted and people who care and really are passionate about what they're doing.
Right. I mean, I've seen that, you know, you're pretty gung-ho for the little time that we've bumped into each other. I mean, you're pretty active, because I got to tell you, since doing this show, I didn't realize how many, you know, especially like you look on Instagram and stuff like this, and it's like, you know, there's all these divorce dealing with issues and divorce coaches and life coaches and
right.
you know, and it's just, there's a million people, but who's actually successful at it is a whole nother story. I mean, everybody can, like, I want to be a life coach. That's, you know, but yet your own life is falling apart. But you have a, you know, it's the truth, right?
Absolutely.
Look, I've met psychiatrists, I mean, you know, therapists and this and that, that if you only knew their own personal life and you're paying them $150 an hour, you would shit, because, you know, they're more of a mess, and you got somebody telling you something and they don't even have their own crap together. But there are good ones. There's good and bad everything. It's weeding through to have a good professional network, and you're gathering all that up. And I see you're spreading. I mean, you're not only you're in Massachusetts.
Yeah. So we started doing the events here about 6.5 years ago in the greater Boston area, and I was spread, you know, to different parts of Massachusetts and to Rhode Island, and then about in the last month or so, we've expanded out to California. Southern California, LA, really on down to San Diego.
Wow.
And we're continuing to spread, and our goal is to redefine divorce for people everywhere.
You know, you got your work cut out for you. That's all I can tell you, Missy.
Missy.
Yeah, because redefine. Let me tell you, when you're pissed off and you know, people get in your ear and your brain's not in the right place, you do a lot of stupid shit in life. And
absolutely,
you know, we've both lived it. I'm sure we wouldn't be sitting here talking to each other.
Right. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I want people to learn from them. And it is true that when people make emotionally driven decisions, they're generally not going to be the best decisions for them and for their family. So to really separate that, to get the help they need from the professionals who are really good at what they do in the different areas, and not use, for example, their attorney as a therapist, which is a very expensive therapist, and they're not trained in that.
They're milkmen. They're not therapists. No offense, because I had a decent attorney, and he didn't milk me, but we had to keep answering. But my ex's attorney was milking the shit out of her, and I had to keep answering, and therefore we both went broke, you know?
Yeah.
I would not be here had it not been because of all that, and you would not be here if it had not been because of all that. Look what we got out of this, you know? So maybe it's a good thing. But I could have done without it, personally. I mean,
no one chooses to go through it. No one chooses to go through hard times in life.
It doesn't kill you.
What we say though is you can't control what happens to you. You can just control what you do, and what you do and how you are in response to what happens to you. And to look at things, and when you go through it, yes, it's not fun, but what's at the other side? If you go through it the right way, then you can recreate your life and have something that you love at the other end of it. No doubt, but it can change you a lot. And it has changed me. I'm sure it has changed you. I mean, good and bad. You learn, you know, now I've met people that have been divorced multiple times, and you know, you learn from your first divorce. The first one's usually the worst because you're so unfamiliar with the whole deal. So hopefully you get better at it. Not that you need to keep repeating it, but it does happen. I've met people that have been married 3 and 4 times, and the 4th time they are in love. They've been married 25 years, and life is good. But I don't know. Yeah, believe me, I've talked to a lot of people, and that's but. And I said, "How did you survive the first 2? I would have shot myself going on to want to get married again."
But yeah, exactly. And I haven't lost faith in marriage. I mean, I had to take a break because I had to keep my own self together, and I had a little girl that I needed to be daddy to, and I was not going to be bringing a woman into my life just because I need something, because I don't. I would like to have somebody in my life, but my main goal was to, you know, and these are the mistakes that a lot of people make. Here's what I want to do, though.
Definitely.
We're going to talk about your business again before we close out, but being it's the holidays. Now, I know you're specialized in, you know, separation and divorce and things like that, and helping people on the right track, but there's a lot of people in general through the holidays and in life through every day that are just taking a downward spiral because they're not happy. They're missing their parents. They lost a child, whatever. And the holidays amplify that, you know, tremendously. So I happened to be skimming through some of your stuff, and I told you that the other day, and I saw that you blogged something about 10 tips for successful co-parenting during the holiday season, which to me, it's like, it shouldn't only be the holiday season and co-parenting, but just 10 tips for surviving, period, you know, and being a decent human being. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to throw some things at you, and maybe you can just, like, throw out some answers if if you feel it. How's that?
Sure.
All right. So the 10 things, and I jotted them down real quick, and believe me, I don't jot much shit down. I'm a loose cannon. When I come into the show, you know, it's all in my head. They give me some bullet points here and there, and then I just go for it. But I felt that being the holidays and all, I was going to take a little special attention. Now, one of the things was, it said, get familiar. Does that ring a bell or anything? Get familiar with what?
Get familiar.
Yeah, these are the 10 tips for co-parenting. Now, I didn't write the paragraphs. It was get familiar with, I don't know, get familiar with how bad your situation is. I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm not sure where you're finding those.
I found it from you, but they were from you.
I did write a blog, and it did some of the main things. Like the very first one was to really take a positive approach to it, to really look at to look at creating new traditions, or what can you do to create something new that you, and if you have kids, can get excited about. So
again, okay, that's forget the get familiar.
I totally get that. Holidays are not.
I know.
And it's, as you mentioned, it's not just around divorce. People have all kinds of challenges, and it can also be the weather and the shorter days and financial.
Isn't the thing about tradition
around the holidays?
Isn't the thing about tradition? Like what I mean, something you did with your family and your friends. That's what the word tradition is for. It's like, so now you got to make a new tradition, and you think they're going to buy into that? I don't know.
Sure, you can find out what they liked and what you want to keep, and you can create new things that you do. Absolutely. My new tradition for the first few years after separation was, my ex and I, we still did the presents with the kids in the morning, and had breakfast together, and then we each had time with them alone. But we created something new, and
wait,
you can sit around and just be upset and miserable about things, or you can look at the positive side and think, what do I want to do to make this a nice holiday, especially for your children.
You talk to you and your ex, you're on talking terms?
Oh, we're co-parent really well right now. We went through a tough time, but even then, even the toughest of times, we still all celebrated Christmas morning together.
You're a friggin' lucky woman. That's all I can tell you right there. Because not everybody's that lucky, okay?
Oh, I totally get that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because that doesn't happen. I mean, most people are fighting on, like, what time am I going to get my child during Christmas? I have sat in an empty grocery store parking lot on Christmas Day waiting for hours for my child. Let me tell you, and
wow.
You want to talk? You have
about that.
No. It's okay. It made me who I am, and but the thing is, this is my story is compared. I mean, people have all these stories, and that's the whole thing. And I'm sure somebody else blows my stories out of the water, but it's like that's the problem. It's like not everybody, but the same pain. It's the same thing, and and who gets hurt really? The child. But I'll live. It's just in the past now. But these are the things. You're lucky. Some people do not get the opportunity to have a cordial environment and go, you know what? We loved what we loved, and now it's not. And, and we're doing our own thing now, but, we're okay around each other. That's a good thing. Count your blessings. Let's talk about this. Talk it out. This was the second thing on it. Talk it out. I know I'm catching you off guard because I don't think you know the piece that I pulled from you, but I did get
because I have it right in front of me.
I got this a week ago. This is off of LinkedIn. I don't think.
I see. It might have been an article that I shared.
Yes, you shared it.
A social media person shared.
Oh well.
It's not the blog that I wrote.
Sorry.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the blog that I wrote.
No. I don't know. I just saw what I saw, and I go, I'll write it down because it was 10 things. I go 10 things. Talk it out. It's like, well, yeah, talk it out. Easier friggin' said than done. You know what I mean? Especially if you have somebody that you can't even talk to, as I do, unfortunately. And there's many people just like me, unfortunately. Talk it out.
Yeah, no, it really depends on the relationship that you have with your ex and what you
That's
what you can.
Right.
create together, and sometimes you just can't. And it sounds like you're in that spot. And
mine still doesn't. We're years down the road, and she could be 3 feet away from me at a school event and won't even look at me. I mean, it's just the way it is. Yeah, but that's okay. Here's my reason being that I tell about this stuff is because a lot of people, the kids get affected by this. You know, it messes.
Absolutely.
And the kids are all that matter to me. It's like all that. I was a lucky son of a gun. My daughter has done fairly damn good about this whole deal. She once in a while talks about she hated it when she was 3 years old, when the 3 and 4 when the worst was going down. But you know what? They take that with them for life. So it's just not the thing you want to have, but it does happen. And mine is, I'm sure, nothing compared to knockdown dragouts a lot of people have.
Yeah,
in front of your kids, which is totally wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, here's one thing that you can easily talk about. Be flexible. Again, easier said than done, but what's your take on this?
Yeah, I think that to be flexible in terms of, you know, just in life in general, not to, well, you can have an expectation or idea of how something's going to go, and it's not going to always go that way. In terms of being flexible around the holidays, just what can you do, especially if you have kids, what's going to be in the best interest of the kids.
They forget about that.
My ex and I were flexible because, yeah, I'm sure there were some Christmas mornings we didn't want to spend time together, but we both really wanted to be around the kids when they first woke up and opened the stockings.
Wow.
There's times now with the kids, and I've heard your show that you did the other week. You're talking about the holidays. You know, now your daughters, when they get to a certain age, then they kind of decide what they want to do or where they want to go. You know, so we let them be flexible in terms of what's in their best interest. Instead of just thinking what is it that I want, or my ex thinking what does he want. Right.
Well, again, at the time, it's easier said than done. And even in general, not even the holidays, there was times when it was like, hey, my daughter wanted to go because she has more family on her mother's side. And it was like little things like, can I do this? And it was my time. And my time is important, but it wasn't really about me, although I felt like it was about me. I'd let it happen. But when I needed something, it was like, no, hell no. And then you start going, well, screw you then the next time. But again, who gets hurt? The child.
The kids. Yeah.
So it's a bitch. And, Thanksgiving, I waited. My daughter kind of told me a little bit till the last minute that she wanted to go with her mother this Thanksgiving. And I said, okay, I love you. I'm going to miss you. I just wanted to be around you as I always do. But you know what? Go. It's okay. And we're at that point. I mean, the years of, they say time heals all. I don't know if it heals all, but it does help, mellow things out. Now it's like I may not talk to my ex, but I don't have the problems I used to have with my ex anymore. It's just she's just kind of out of the picture unless she happens to be in front of me and in the picture. But even in the picture, she's out of the picture. If that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. I'd love to be at the point where we were talking again. It's like, remember the good days, but we just don't. I don't know. Whatever. I tried. I just kind of gave up. Let's try something else. It says that the blog that you shared then, I'm sorry it wasn't you. I knew it wasn't yours, but I just thought, if you thought somebody, I thought you put it out there. It said, prepare for anything. It's like, what do you mean? What does that mean? Prepare for anything. Good luck.
You can tell me what this thing. I have a social.
I know.
We share like so many articles.
Okay.
So,
all right. Let me go through. Let me get some.
I mean, I can tell you my take on it, but again, you're quoting from an article that wasn't written by me.
I know, but I thought. I didn't know. I thought you put it out, so I figured you thought it was worthy of putting out there. So I had no idea. I apologize. I'll make it easier for you.
I think that goes along with being flexible, right?
I'm ripping up the paper.
Preparing for.
I just threw it out the door. It's gone. Forget it. I'm going to ask you questions I want to ask you. How's that?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter.
Thank you. All right. So the holidays. And again, in general, we're not going for just divorce. We're going for people that I remember hearing, okay, this is how I met you. I saw something you talked about, and you were talking about trying to keep a positive attitude, getting out and getting exercise. Let's talk about mental state of mind. When you're sitting there, because I know you can do this. You talked about, I feel like even the other day, I was doing Christmas cards, and as I'm doing these Christmas cards, I'm thinking about, my father passed away earlier this year, and as the last, I'm an orphan now, know, I'm a 57-year-old orphan.
Oh.
And no matter how old you are, you still have that inner child in you. You know what I mean? It was like, that was my dad. That was my mom. Right. And I know that things are never going to be the same. I officially became an adult. How do you keep your mind, besides, I know you need to stay busy and this and that, but people tend to drive themselves into a downward spiral, drink themselves under the table, become reclusive and all that stuff. What do you think? You know, I mean, how do you tell people like, hey, it's going to be okay?
Well, I mean, I think that, I mean, what we tell people is to take some step or some action that can, you know, move them towards their new life, and not to think about all the steps that it's going to take to get there, and also, you know, just when you said be active, like, it's good to have some time during the holidays to relax. You could watch movies or get together with friends, but also to do some type of activity. Because if you are just sitting there, and we also say, you know, to deal with your emotions and not to drink through them, right? So it's fine to have some holiday cheer with friends, but if you're sitting drinking alone, that's not going to put you in the best frame of mind.
Yep.
So you also have to, you know, take responsibility for your life and do the actions that you know that are going to put you in your best frame of mind.
Easier said than done, though. I mean, you know, a lot of people.
All of this
you know
is easier said than done.
It is. And who do you lean on? Who do you lean on? Let's say there's people, they don't have any money. I mean, believe me, I know a lot of people that I love very much. And when and they look at me, and there was times because my mother, when she was getting ill, I'd go back home and I'd bump into people at stores, and I knew a lot of people because I was around a lot because I played in bands, and you just, when you do that kind of stuff, you get to know you're all over the place. And I'd bump into people, and they go, Peter, man, if your mama needs anything, you let me know. And these people didn't have a pot to piss in. I mean, they had their own problems, but yet they're willing to help. But they don't want to help themselves. I mean, what do you know what I mean? So that's easier said than done. It's like, because they don't. I find a lot of people as they get older just don't take care of themselves, and they're in this bucket of, you know, crap, so to speak. But they're happy, but they don't realize how bad off they are because of their mental state. What do you do?
So you're saying that they're happy, but they don't realize that their life, that they have problems in their life because of their mental state?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same, like divorced kid, you know, they're just alone, whatever. I mean, it's like, you know, who do you lean on when you don't have the kind of money to go to an organization like what you're doing? And there's a lot of people like that, unfortunately, you know what I mean? And they have to, it pertains to divorce and all of the above. It's like, it's so weird. That's why I do this show, because somebody's going to see me, us, and hear this. And regardless of the financial status, they go, wow, it's not just me. You know what I mean? Yeah,
absolutely. And money or not, like, I mean, obviously, if you have, you know, people, you know, if they have enough to be comfortable, that's ideal, right? But I see people who are happier, like you said, who don't have as much money. And in terms of people coming to our events or finding things that, or finding, you know, new circles of friends or whatever, you know, through Meetup, there's so many different avenues for them to take in terms of, you know, finding new hobbies or just, you know, meeting new people. I met so many new people after my divorce that are great friends of mine now. My life totally changed.
See, that's the thing. With me, I kind of, you know, I pulled back a lot. I had to change everything because I went from being out there a lot to like fighting a battle for 3.5 years or in court, you know, over custody, and I had to change my whole life and give up everything that I knew how to do in order to, because you cannot fight a battle. And then, you know, I had 50-50 custody off the bat, and she just was not having it. For what reason, in God's name, I do not know. But at the end of 3 years or 3.5, whatever the hell it was, and tens of thousands and thousands of dollars later, she didn't have 5 seconds more because I really wasn't a bad person. You know, I was still the same guy, but when you're pissed off, you do stupid things. But I had to make changes, and it really, you know, I pulled back away from everybody I knew and had to start redefining myself. And a lot of people, it'll drive you into the ground. And drinking and you name it. But, you know, I've never been much of a good drinker, although I try. It just doesn't work for me. But a lot of people, it will destroy you. And that's why I wanted to take you from your business. And it's kind of like not free advice. We don't give advice. We're just sharing stories, and and hopes that whatever you're kind of telling me will pass on to some people, and on and on and on, and the show that just keeps on giving. But it's all on you now. You have to tell me.
Yeah, so I mean, one of the things I think in terms of, coming to events and just meeting other people, can make them realize that they're not alone, and make them realize that they can talk to people who understand what they're going through. People who come to our events, or people who call me, say that they finally feel they have hope and they can see their path to a new life. I think the main thing is just not to be stuck in the same place that you are. Some people come to our events and decide to work on their marriage and see a therapist, and some decide to move forward with divorce in a constructive way. But the main thing is not to stay unhappy, and to just be careful about what you're modeling, the kind of behavior and a relationship that you're modeling for your kids.
Sure. So you're putting together events. Am I correct?
Yeah, we have a lot of events. We have they're all on our website, but a lot of different types of events that free of charge, where people can meet other people and they can get a lot of really great information.
Okay. Here we
from
go.
Experts, and talk one-on-one with them.
Well, this is good now. Now we're getting to we're kind of coming back to where we started from. So you're for people that are having issues, and again, are you just only supporting divorced or just people that are just in the dumps? Is it all the above, or are you really specializing in only the whole deal with separating? Because to me, the problems are all the same. If you have kids and you're having a hard time, I mean, a lot of that is all the same.
Right. People who come to our events, they tend to be people who are considering divorce, or going through the process, or already divorced, or could be, and it doesn't have to be divorce. It could be separation,
widowed.
But I see what you
anything.
mean in terms of just a lot of the things like health and wellness, or parenting, finances,
right?
Estate planning. So many things that are important to make sure that you're educated on can affect anyone, or be helpful to anyone.
See, I've met a lot of people, like widows, who were, I mean, again, they were happy as hell. The husband took care of everything. Unfortunately, he passes away. They don't know how to do a damn thing, and they're screwed, and their life is falling apart. I mean, even if you're not divorcing them, although the subject, it's still the same problem. Like, what do you do when you don't know how to do anything? Who do you turn to when your life is falling apart? Basically, we're talking about people whose lives are falling apart.
Right. Very challenging life transitions. I mean, all of that, like the toughest things you could expect to go through.
Right.
And yes, you need education and support to meet other people who are going through that. I do have people reaching out to me, like, do we have things for people who are widowed? Because, for all the same things that you mentioned, the things that they need to kind of rebuild a life and get a hold of their finances and figure out what the rest of their life is going to look like. It's not going to look like what they imagined, and they can also have a great life.
Right, because I've had that. I've had somebody who in the past, and she had 3 girls, and the husband passed away, and all of a sudden now she doesn't know what to do, how to do it, and there's several years of struggle. I mean, things have a tendency to work their way out, some ways better than others, but the fact is, knowing, like, somebody telling you, hey, you need, this is the thing, guidance. Like, when my mother was starting to slowly get ill, had I not had the benefit of having other people who had already been in my shoes point me in the right direction. So basically, you're the one who points people in the right direction, and so am I, to say, hey, you're not alone. I use that word, that phrase a lot, because that's a big phrase. You're not alone.
It is.
And that's why I do this. It's like, I'm not here to fix you, or I'm not even anybody. I got my own problems, but we share stories that you can relate to and point you to say, hey, you might want to check this out. It might help you, it might not, but what do you got to lose? So you're the might want to check us out thing, right?
Absolutely. And we have people come, to our events who tell me all the time that they were almost not going to come. And, I sent them an email or I gave them a call and they decided to come, and they're so glad they did. They say things like they can finally sleep through the night. It's the most rewarding thing.
And but
you're right. What do you have to lose? Take some action that's going to get you unstuck, and then that's going to empower you to take your next action.
So you obviously you have a website?
We do. It's Vesta, VES, so V as in Victor, ESTA, divorce.com.
Divorce.com. All right. After the show, I'll have my boys push it. But I can't.
Awesome.
I can't do banners. I wish we could do little banners underneath. And I wish I could have you, sitting right next to me, talking to me. But all in due time, my dear. Right now, this is how we did it. I didn't want to complicate things. It's bad enough I'm at the mercy of Facebook's platform, but this is the path we chose. And I could even do a Skype type version of this with you on there, but believe me, before you came on, it froze on me 3 times, which only this month has been freaking out, but it did.
Yeah, I was watching you and I saw it freeze for a while, and then it kind of restarted.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's their phones. No, for some reason this month or November, it did it 2 other times on me, and I get so used to when things are running good that it's good, but when you're live, and there's no fixing it. I used to do a lot of pre-record stuff, and we'd have you sit on another chair across from me and let's talk multi-camera stuff, but when you're live, I chose to take live, and live is very challenging. Yeah, and but the thing is, okay, so you have a website, Vista. You said Vista Divorce. Vesta. I'm sorry. Why did I say Vista?
VESTA.
Yeah, I knew that. Sorry.
Divorce.com.
I was writing a Christmas card out today, and it was Vista Terrace, and it's stuck in my. I'm sorry. So VestaDivorce.com, and you have a plethora of information right there, and people can contact you. How do they do that? So they're looking around. What do they do?
Yeah, so they can go to the events tab. We have events in Massachusetts and in California, so they can see our upcoming events. We also
you have one coming here, right? Well, there's one coming up real soon over here, right?
The one let's see, our next event that's near.
I thought I saw Beverly Hills December 4th.
Where you are, yes, you did. Daytime divorce.
I do my homework.
You do your homework, so it's going to be, so people can go online and see that and register for it. It's a free event. It's going to be this Wednesday, December 4th, from 10 to 12:30, and in our divorce boot camps, they cover legal issues in real estate. Boot camp, yeah, because it's 20-minute presentations on 5 different areas that are all crucial, topics around divorce, including emotional coping strategies, legal, financial, real estate, and mortgages. And also an opportunity to speak one-on-one with the professionals and to meet other people. And the professionals who are going to be there are all awesome.
Gotcha. Yeah, boot camp. I mean, let me tell you something. You need boot camp, because if you go through the crappy side of divorce, it's a war, and it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all, and it'll again. It's like incoming PTSD. Yeah, you can. It's a form of that. After you're through, you don't realize it until it's over, but definitely changes you when you come home from that war. There's no doubt about it. Now, I don't want to really relate it to actual war, because those guys it's unthinkable, but it messes with your life, and so because again, I saw all these companies that like how to properly divorce coaches and this and that. Now, I don't know. It's like I wish we had everybody that was saying, can't we just all get along, and can take a deep breath and chill the hell out. But easier said than done, and it all involves money, and it messes with you, and emotionally, it's like if you could all get along, we wouldn't have half of these problems, but we do, and therefore there's Vesta divorce.com, right?
Yes, VestaDivorce.com.
That's your website.
Oh, and they can also, so on the website, we have a blog under resources. We have blogs under there that have helpful information. We also have information on the professionals who are part of our network, and under home, you can go to contact us, and they can actually, the number that's there goes right to me. They can schedule a call with me. I talk to people all the time, and love doing so. Love being able to help people and guide them towards a better life.
And you're also on. Let's talk about the platforms you're on. I know you're on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Not everybody's on LinkedIn because that's more of a us type deal. But you're on Facebook as well.
Yes, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, also under the handle Vesta Divorce.
Vesta Divorce on all of those platforms. If you write down Vesta, Vesta, Divorce, they can find you, correct?
Correct.
Now, again, that really kind of narrows the herd into the whole divorce thing. But, being the holidays, again, I just felt like this is one aspect of talking about surviving the holidays that we really needed to talk about. And I see somebody's talking about you right here. I can't read them all. There's too many things flying by on my screens, but I'll get to them all later. Oh, yeah, there's all good stuff going on. Maybe it's one of your people. I'm not sure.
Might be.
I don't know. It might be, but that's a good thing. Again, the only way the word gets spread is by us doing what we're doing, and that's, again, to me, life is just short. I don't know. You're obviously much younger than me, but I just
not really.
No, well, you're doing better than me. You can't mess. This is like not a whole good thing going on with me. It's just not as pretty. But the thing is, I'm just gotten to a point where life is just flying by, and nobody needs to be alone and miserable, and especially when you're a good person and you're just driving, your own brain is starting to be your worst enemy, because it's tough, and you get a lot of people that sometimes you just need to be heard and you need to let it out. Normally, I didn't even mention this at all tonight, that I have a phone number, 818-259-9783, but the problem was I got so involved with you now, I didn't even bother to say, hey, we take a call or two, but I'm already looking at it. Yeah, I apologize, but time just flies.
Yeah, I posted, I said, call in.
Nah, you know what? I didn't.
So my friends here on the East Coast are probably sleeping. But
they probably are, but here's the beauty. Look, here's the beauty of the whole thing. This is a show that will keep on giving and giving and giving. This show, once it's over, will be floating around the internet. It gets posted up to YouTube. I think they said by tomorrow. I think they'll have it up. It's usually within the next 24 to 48 hours. It gets posted up to YouTube. It goes on to LinkedIn. It's Facebook. It lives on forever. And even podcast-wise, it goes on and on and on. So this is the gift that keeps on sharing. So whether they got called in live or not, it's okay, because I feel that we're sharing pertinent information that will help steer somebody into the right path. And if we can help one person, or I don't even want to help, but share with one person that they feel, they go, wow, I'm glad I heard this, I'm good with that. I just
yeah, absolutely.
It's because I just know that there's a lot of people that don't know where to turn, and this show gets rerun through the week, and you'll be heard, several times during the week, and again, just on and on and on. Especially, you can host a watch party anytime you want. You can grab the show, hit share, and start the watch party, and just let it run. And it goes to all your people, or all your people can do that as well. And my sponsor, Bolt Energy, by the way, did you know that Bolt Energy electrifies your senses? No preservatives.
I need to try some.
Yeah, you do, because yeah, you do. But the thing is that my sponsor, they'll do a watch party, and we talk like minutes before every show, and and he'll send me screenshots, and there's hundreds of people on his end, because he does a watch party, and so that's the beauty of Facebook. You can't keep track of your numbers very well, but it just goes on and on and on. Especially if you have people in your court, and you say, hey, take the show, hit the watch party button, and just let it roll. And then their people get to see it, and you never know who just might be the person that says, wow, I'm glad I saw it. I get that a lot, all through the week, all through the year. People write to me on the side and say, you know what, I'm never going to call in, I'm too shy or this and that, but I love your show. And I wish they would call in, but this is me. I'm a professional. I have professional lurkers. They love to just watch, and they keep thinking somebody else is going to call, but they really should be the one doing it. Nobody even knows it's them, but they feel that they just want to watch. So providing that, we just keep on sharing good information, I'm good with that.
Well, it's a great thing that you're doing.
Well, again, I don't know.
Every Sunday night, making a difference for people.
It is, and it's every Sunday night. It's any time you want it to be. It's on demand. But the thing is, I just wanted to get you out there because I saw you, and I told you I've had many people that have been so gung ho, and then they just fizzle out. But I can see that you're beyond the fizzle out stage. And I felt, okay, let's get this woman on because you got something to talk about, some way, shape, or form to, I don't like to use the word help because, again, people have to help themselves, but we're just pointing people in the right direction so they can help themselves. I know personally I'm nobody. I have no degrees. I have, I'm no doctor. I'm no lawyer. I'm no psychologist. I'm just a guy that has experience in life. And I just decided to bring it out there and just share stories. So I make no claims, but if you want to take the information we have, that's good, and make the best of it. And I hope people, because I just love people. I think we have a very short time on this planet, and we all just need to. You might as well be happy. So
absolutely.
Is there anything you want to tell me before we leave this show tonight that you feel pertinent that people need to know?
Yes, I wanted to thank you, first of all, for having me on. It's been great speaking with you again. And what I want people to know is that, there can be bad days, but know that you take the right actions. You can turn, the next day will be a good one. It's just really reaching out for the support you need, or talking with a friend, or coming to an event where you can meet others, whatever it is, but to take some action to turn your life around. And that I really believe, because I've done it, that challenging times can be the catalyst for creating the life that you truly love and are happy in.
You never know until you keep going, where you, and again, I truly feel sometimes you got to go through a bunch of shit to get to where you really need to be. But here's the beauty of the whole thing. I was really getting kind of worried that I froze up prior to calling you, but the gods were on our side, and this whole segment of you being on this show was freeze free, which it should be. Well, it should be. It shouldn't mess up, but it did mess up prior to you coming on. So that tells me that you needed to be heard right here on this show, and I appreciate you very much. We're not done.
Thank you, Peter.
In the future, again, I hope we can keep going back and forth, one way, shape, or form, and keep pushing each other to making everybody aware that there's something out there to help people to survive in a more humanly sense and happiness. So don't be a stranger. Okay, you need something, you let me know.
Thanks so much, Peter.
Okay.
It's great talking with you.
I got Deanna Coyle from Vesta. Oh, my God. I know. I'm so sorry. I'm going to get my ass kicked as soon as I get off the show. They're going to go, what's the matter? It's written down in front of me, too. It's like big letters. But VestaDivorce.com, helping you to get... sit there right... They're making I'm getting the... It's almost like getting the finger, except it's like, Peter, get your shit together. I apologize. VestaDivorce.com. I have Deanna Coyle here, and again, you can find her on VestaDivorce.com and reach out to her. Again, just take that step and do something, because sitting and dwelling in your own sea of whatever it is that you're doing, it's like you just she's reaching out, I'm reaching out, telling you that there is life after anything that goes on in your life. And she specializes in divorce and co-parenting, single parenting. Believe me, we both understand that very much. But we're both here, and we're all here, and you can reach her anytime, pretty much, right? They can write to you?
Absolutely.
Good. Yeah, such is the show. It's amazing. I get all these, being that on this Facebook platform, people they messenger me at like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yep, I get that too.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, great. But they all get that, and then because they're in the ether right now, they're all like, yeah, I'm with you. And then you try to get them on the show a week later, and they go, I'm kind of shy now. It's okay. All right, one person at a time. We're doing this, all right?
One person at a time.
I appreciate you staying up late on the East Coast and doing this. I know that, you know, with kids and people and everybody's got long days, but this is the only way you do it. You know, it's a small sacrifice to pay for something you believe in. So once again, don't be a stranger. Let's just keep pushing each other forward, and life will move in a better way. Okay.
All right. Thanks so much, Peter.
Thank you so much, Deanna. I appreciate you very much. We'll talk soon.
I appreciate you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. There you have it, people. God, I messed her up. VestaDivorce.com. I'm sorry. I'm just as God made me. Honestly, today I had to write out a Christmas card, and the address was Vista Terrace. And it's just in my head now. VestaDivorce.com. Deanna Coyle. She has a business and a marketing business that brings all the right people into your life when your life is falling apart. You have choices. Do it. There's my big money Marv finally popping on. Where you been, bro? Anyway, as we wind down the show, I truly appreciate her coming on, knowing that it's late on the East Coast. A lot of people on the East Coast bow out on me. It's just like, oh, it's too late, Peter. I'm old. There was a time we didn't go out till 11:30 at night, right? Yeah, that's right. Thumbs up. I want to give you a thumbs up, too. But, yeah, it's a bitch. But life, you know, is short. Use it while you can. I appreciate whoever was watching tonight. I'm sorry about the official Peter G Show page being down for 2 months plus. It is driving me absolutely crazy. I'm at the mercy of my third-party network, and again, they just keep telling me, hang in there, Peter. It's all on Facebook. This is what happens when you're depending on Facebook. But I chose this platform because I truly believe in it, because I love you guys, and I get to watch what's going on in your lives. And this is how we talk about things. This month is a, you know, especially important month, full of emotions, you know. The holidays. Nobody wants to be alone, or who doesn't have their family around, or lost their family, who's getting sick, trials and tribulations. A lot of my problems seem so trivial compared to other people's problems, but no matter what your problems are, when they're your problems, they feel like there's a world of hurt on your shoulders. So there's people like Deanna and VestaDivorce.com, and it's, you know, I hate the word divorce right there, but she's really, again, she's got a plethora of professionals in there to help you talk about things or find what you need to just be a better person when you think your life is falling apart, and it just happens. But it is what it is. All right, every Sunday night, Peter G Show, right here. First of the year is right around the corner. The holiday spirit, I'm just starting to try to get into this mode. I've got to tell you that, just again, because I get into my own head, and it's hard. It's hard right now. It's just hard. But, you know, life keeps going forward, and that's exactly what we do here on this show. So many things going to keep me busy. When I leave here, we'll be here for several hours after this show is over, and there's just a lot of things going on. But the bottom line is, the holidays are coming. Make the best of it. It doesn't matter if you're not on top of the world, because what matters is that every day you're moving forward. That's why you're here, okay? And speaking of moving forward, that's what we're going to do. Every Sunday night we're going to be here. Don't know what the future has in store for us, but right now I just want to talk about the things that are a little bit tougher. I don't want to be the Debbie Downer, but it's not. It's not. It's because there's a lot of people that are doing well, and life is honky-dory. And all I can tell you people who are doing very well and life is good, your family's good, and you're very blessed and lucky in that department, take a look around you and notice the people who, your friends, your inner circle. That's why I want you to share this with watch parties, your inner circle. At least share this so you don't even know who's going through some hard times because you're too busy in your own world. Life is fast. It just is. I'm telling you, even for me, I was, bitching about, I want to take this to a bigger level. I need help. It's just the way it is. Everybody wants to be somebody. What makes me so special? Nothing. I'm just being me. But I believe in what I do, and I believe that, that people you just don't know who might be needing this. So share it, people, okay? I love you guys more than anything. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't give a shit, and I do. I care. We'll have all the jokes and all the funny stuff after the first of the year. Right now, the holidays, serious business. I mean, I love the holidays. Let's make it as blessed a holiday as you can, all right? Just chill the hell out. If you got problems, take a deep breath before you speak. Don't bark. I mean, I'm famous for that. I speak before, you just get that emotional jab. Somebody pokes you and you lash out. I have a friend of mine that, seemed to have mastered or gotten better at that. I'm working on it, because again, pain hurts, right? Anyway, all right, Peter G. Show. Share it with your friends all through the week. Once again, I want to thank my beloved Bolt Energy for allowing me to be here tonight. Can't do it without Bolt Energy. Ask for Bolt Energy. No preservatives, enriched with vitamins and antioxidants. www.drinkboltenergy. If you can't find it in stores, just go right to them and they'll tell you how to get it. They're spreading little by little, section by section. It's a big world out there, but they're getting there. And I love Bolt Energy because I like the way it tastes too. So, salute. December 1st. I'm already 5 minutes over time, but that's the way it goes. So see that I just had this conversation with somebody because Pepsi, we shot a commercial for Bolt Energy last week. That'll be on after the first of the year. And when we shot it, he goes, well, we could do a 30-second spot. And I go, I don't know. Let's just do it. He goes, well, we don't want, because Pepsi's old school. He's an old school production guy. And he goes, he says, it'd look a lot better if we make sure we had it right on the money. I go, Pepsi, who gives a shit? I go, it's the internet. I go, it's a whole different world out there. Streaming network. It's paid, sponsored advertising. Nobody is telling us what to do. And that's what this show is. Nobody's telling me what to do. Bolt Energy says, just do your thing, and we got your back. And that's why I love them for it. But just do what you do. That's what I'm doing. All right? So from me to you, we're going to talk about stuff next week. Probably still sticking to the holiday. I want everybody to have the holiday spirits. It's worth it, people. If you're lucky and you're happy enough to have your health, a lot of people are struggling with that. And if you don't have your health, I just wrote to somebody today. Take it one day at a time and be thankful for what you've got and what you had. Because there's people that have had even less than you. I'll see you next Sunday night, like clockwork. Please share the reruns, all right? That's my biggest wish you can do for this show and for us, for you. Share the reruns. I love you guys. I'm out of here. Peter G. Show. Love you. Peace out.
Peter G. Show. Peter G. Show. Peter G. Show. Peter G. Show. Divorced dad, single dad. Divorced dad, single dad. Peter G. Show.